So, one important problem most of the time this apiculture farmers are facing is different types of diseases which are affecting the honeybees. So many different types of diseases are there. Some are bacterial disease, some are fungal disease, and viral diseases are also there. So coming to the bacterial disease, one important type of bacterial disease is the American foul brood disease. Here you can see that this is the American foul brood disease. Now it is very common, especially in colonies where Apis mellifera. There are, even though there are several different types of honeybees are there, Apis mellifera is the most commercially used honeybee. There are a number of reasons because its production of honey is more, it is more mild and it won't attack so fast compared with other Indian honeybee. So that is Apis mellifera is the most common type of honeybee that is cultured or reared in India. So in tropical Asia where sunlight it is abundant and temperatures are relatively high, this disease is very common. So this is one of the important favorable environmental conditions that favor the development of this disease, and it is highly contagious. Contagious means spread by touch. That is the meaning of that. And bacteria can remain for more than 50 years. So that is another problem. If there is a bacteria in a honeybee hive, and if you are not taking proper measures to completely clean it or eradicate it, that bacteria can survive in that bee or in that bee colony up to 450 years. It's a very long period. So caused by spore forming bacteria, Bacillus larvae. That is the bacteria that is responsible for this disease known as the which only affect the bee brood, and bee brood, that is the developing honeybees are being affected. This is how the disease will be manifested when it is infecting a beehive colony. So at the initial stage of American foul brood disease, isolated capped cell from which brood cells has not emerged can be seen in the mold. So this is how it will be. Normally we can find that there are number of B cells where so these are the cells where the bacterial infection have taken place, but these are the normal cells from which the larva has come out. So, but here because of this bacterial infection, the larva may not be able to develop into a honeybee adult. So, caps of these dead brood cells are usually darker than caps of the healthy cells, sunken and often punctured. Punctured means there will be some holes will be there. That is the meaning. So, this is the overall appearance of this American foul brood disease. Then control strategy is that we have to kill the entire honeybee by destroying it by burning. That is the normal, or we can use some poisonous gas by or like burning of sulfur powder. That is also another common. So killing strategy is the most because we do not have any proper method. So otherwise we have to use a heavy dose of antibiotics. So administration of antibiotics or sodium sulfathiazole are also employed as a chemical or antibacterial approach. So these are the three important methods. One is killing by fire or killing by using some poisonous gas like sulfur powder. Then we can also use sodium hydroxide. So the advantage of sodium hydroxide is that it is basically a cleaning agent, because unless we are cleaning the hive thoroughly, the bacteria will be able to survive there for a longer period of time. Then next is the fungal disease. In the case of fungal disease, here you can see that this is a chalk brood disease. See, the affected larvae will be looking like a chalk piece. That is why chalk brood disease, it is common in Asia, Japan, America, Europe, etc. And it is actually fungal disease, and it is caused by Ascosphaera apis. Ascosphaera apis is the fungus that is responsible for this disease. And coming to the symptom, the dead larvae swell to the size of cell and are covered with whitish mycelia. So this whitish mycelia is the most prominent. The larva will be dead and after the death you can see that there will be a covering of whitish mycelia, or the fungal filaments will be there. Subsequently, dead larvae mummify, harden, shrink, and appear. Mummify means they will not decay, just like the mummy. So they will not decay because of the effect of this fungus, and they will be hardened and finally become shrink. The water will be removed. Then after some time, we can see that it appear look like a chalk, a piece of chalk, because entire water will be removed. It is not decaying. So it will be dead larvae which is appearing like a chalk piece. That is why it is a chalk brood disease. Now, as a control measure, the bees, as with the other brood disease, bees remove the infested brood with their hygiene behavior, which is especially affected for, because whenever this type of larvae are there, this type of mummified larvae are found, the nature of the honeybees is that they will be removing these dead larvae by themselves. But if the fungal infection is more, we have to intervene. If mummies are not removed quickly, spores may enter brood cells carried there by circulating air. Till now, there is no successful chemical control against dog brood disease. So, it is a fungal disease. The best thing that we can do is that close examination. Once we know that there are some problem, we have to remove the affected larvae. Otherwise, it will be causing infection to the entire colony. Then we have this honey viral diseases are the viral disease. One common type of viral disease is the sac brood disease. Now sac brood disease, if there is, so this is the sac brood disease. Here you can see that. So in the case of sac brood disease, it is also common in Asian countries. Then first it was discovered in Thailand in the year 1981. Now this is present for wherever we are growing this Asian honeybee, that is Apis indica serrana. We are observing this disease, and the virus which is responsible is known as a Morator etotulus. This is the name of the virus. Morator etotulus is the virus, and is the most common viral disease of the honey. So we have seen two diseases. One is a fungal disease, chalk brood disease. Other is American foul brood disease. It's a bacterial disease. Now this is the third disease, that is the viral disease. So all kinds of microorganisms are also affecting honeybee. Then here you can see that most of the time the nurse bees. The nurse bees means the virus the bees, honey bees worker which are specialized in taking care of the young ones and other bees are known as the nurse bees. They are the primary vectors of this disease, and they are transmitting disease to other members of the colony. Here you can see the diseased larva failed to pupate. That is the most important thing. So if the diseased larva failed to pupate after 4 days, this normally larva will be converting into pupae after a period of 4 days. But in the case of this diseased larvae may not be able to convert into pupae. So that is the most important. They remain stretched out on their back within their cell. So that is how this here you can see that this is how the larva will be appearing. Larva changes its color from white to pale yellow and finally to dark brown and black. So infected larva has appeared in a small watery sac. So that is why it is known as a sac brood disease, because the infected larva will be appearing like a small watery bag or watery sac. That is why we call it by the name sac brood disease. Then as in the case of control measure, the field inspection, the regular inspection of the colony is the most important thing that we can do. No chemotherapeutic agent is effective. So it is a viral disease. It is even in these human beings, viral diseases are quite hard to control. So what we can do is that earlier we remove the affected larvae, the more safer for the colony, so that it will not spread. So the best method is that removing the larva which will be infected, and so that other members of the honeybee colony are not affected. Recovery mainly depends on the hygiene behavior of the bees, and disease usually occurs when colony is under stress. So for example, the colony is not very healthy, and so in such colonies this sac brood diseases will be quite common. So so when the health of the colony is weak, the viral diseases or bacterial diseases can infect the colony very easily. Then one more disease is the protozoan disease. This is the fourth type of disease, and this protozoan disease is known as a nosema disease. Here you can show you a picture. This is the protozoan disease which is affecting the honeybee intestine. So one of the most destructive diseases of the adult bees affecting all workers, queens, drones alike. The seriously affected worker bee were unable to fly and may crawl upon the live hive entrance or stand trembling on the top. So this one important problem of the nosema disease is that when it is affecting a honeybee, that worker or queen, whatever be the guru type, they may not be able to fly. So that is one important feature of the nosema disease, sometimes known by nosemosis. The cause of the disease is actually a protozoan. Sometimes in examination, you can explain what do you mean by nosema disease. Actually, it is a protozoan disease caused by a protozoan known by a nosema apis, and whose spores infest the bees and are absorbed in the food. And it germinates. So what happens is that the protozoan will be entering the honeybee through its food, and once it is in the intestine, it will be germinating the midgut, and after penetration of the gut wall, cells multiply, forming new spore that infect the new gut cell. So primarily the gut or the intestine is actually affected. Now in severe case of infection, abdomen of the infected worker becomes swollen and shiny in appearance. This is the abdomen. So what whether this is after dissection, you can see that the abdomen will be quite swollen will be it will be swollen and also very shiny in appearance. On dissection, individual circular constriction in the alimentary canal of the uninfected bees are clearly visible. So that is one important thing that we can notice. Laboratory procedure using microscope diagnosis large bacteria, individual bacillus spores with a bright fluorescent. So under a microscope, if you are observing, you can say this kind of spores will be there. These spores will be can be easily observed under the microscope. That is one of the important symptom by which we will be able to identify this protozoan disease. It is a very dangerous disease. Most of the time, it will be destroying the honeybee colony. So it is quite common. Then coming to the control measures. As with the control measures, we do not have very proper control measures against most of the honeybee diseases. Colonies and apiaries should receive adequate ventilation. That is, poor air circulation can be one factor promoting this spread of this disease. Then protection from cold as well as humidity. This also should be improved. The bees should have the possibility of foraging regularly in order to defecate, because their elimination of excretory matter, that is an important thing that should be allowed. This prevents spread of spores within the colony. How equipment should be, so even when we are rearing honeybee, it needs a lot of care, because unless we are taking precaution that to clean the honeybee hive regularly, these waste materials of the honeybee will be, if it is present in the honeybee hive, that will be leading to this kind of protozoan infection or bacterial infection or fungal infection. Only effective chemotherapeutic method is to feed the colony with fumagillin. Fumagillin is a anti protozoan chemical. So chemical that is 25 mg of act per 1 liter of sugar. So by feeding the honeybee with the fumagillin syrup, so we will be able to increase the drug into the honeybee. Because it is a disease which is affecting the intestine and stomach of the honeybee. So unless we give some internal medicine, the treatment approach may not be effective. So this is an idea regarding the different type of diseases. So one is the protozoan disease, primarily the nosema disease. Then we have viral disease, sac brood disease. Then fungal disease is stalk brood disease. Then bacterial disease, American foul brood disease.